What's up, combatants, and welcome to another installment of the complete history of Mortal Kombat. Last time I highlighted Shujinko's quest as the first part of this two-parter centered around the story of Mortal Kombat Deception. In this video, we'll take a look at the return of Onaga the Dragon King. But before we do, if you'd like to learn more about Mortal Kombat lore and story, please head over to my channel, MK Temple, and click the bell to get notified every time a new video posts. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. This video is going to pick up right where my last two videos left off, the Deadly Alliance and Shujinko's quest. If you haven't watched those videos yet, I suggest you give them a view before you view this one. The results of Shujinko's quest allowed for Onaga to be reborn in Outworld using Reptile's body as a vessel, as I highlighted in my past videos. Thanks to Shujinko, Onaga was not only reborn in Outworld, but also had in his possession the 6 Kamidogu, making him very powerful. He was successful in retrieving Shinnok's amulet from Quan Chi, and now has what he needs to shape the realms in which he sees fit. The One Being was subconsciously working his way through Onaga. Onaga's plan was to fuse all the Kamidogu together, creating one realm and thus unleashing the One Being to take his revenge on the Elder Gods. If this were to happen, all of existence would cease to be. Onaga gained allies in the likes of the Tarkatan Horde and the Saiyan Guard, and resurrected the fallen Earthrealm heroes from Deadly Alliance as his own personal bodyguards. Jade had arrived at Shang Tsung's palace too late and found the dead bodies of her friends. While grieving and holding Kitana's lifeless corpse in her arms, Jade saw Onaga exiting what remained of Tsung's palace and hid. She witnessed Onaga resurrect the fallen heroes, and then stealthily followed him to uncover his intentions. Having learned of the Dragon King's return, Hotaru and the Realm of Order allied with the Tarkatan Horde to put Onaga's plan into action. A millennia ago, when Onaga had ruled, he brought great order to the Realm of Outworld. Hotaru believed that with Onaga in power again, this order would be retained. For years, the Tarkata had served many leaders who had failed them. Baraka and the Tarkata believed Onaga would be the emperor to finally lead them to glory. Together, they came across Tanya on their way to Edenia, and Baraka gave Tanya the choice of serving the Dragon King or death. Tanya wisely chose to serve Onaga. She believed that Edenia housed the ancient incantations that Onaga needed to fuse the Kamidogu into one. Together, they all traveled to Edenia and quickly overthrew the realm. They broke Mileena free from Edenian prison and imprisoned Queen Sindel. Onaga then had the brainwashed, resurrected Kitana guard Sindel's cell, knowing that the queen would not fight her own daughter. After following in the shadows for some time and waiting for the right moment, Jade sprung her attack on Kitana. She managed to lock Kitana in a cell of her own and freed Queen Sindel. Kitana screamed for the guards, which forced Jade and Sindel to flee to the Realm of Outworld. Onaga's plan for the Tarkata was for them to act as a diversion while he gained the strength and knowledge needed to merge the Kamidogu. Mileena opposed this Kitana and took control of the Edenian army. Baraka then led the Tarkata raid parties far from Onaga's position. Mileena would then direct the Edenian army towards the raid parties, keeping all conflict away from Onaga. After being tossed into the Solnado by Draman and Malak, Scorpion escaped into the void and was met by the Elder Gods, who named him their champion, and told him that they would revive his family and clan if he assisted in stopping Onaga. As highlighted in my last video, the Elder Gods sent Scorpion to kill Shujinko before he could place the final Kamidogu on the altar, but he had failed. After this, they tasked Scorpion to stop Onaga from merging all of the realms. It is unknown if he ever got to battle the Dragon King, but if he did, he was not victorious. After being deceived by Onaga, Shujinko banded together as many warriors as he could to join him in stopping the Dragon King before his plan to come into fruition. While this is the main focus of Deception's storyline, there were other subplots that also took place during this time. Here is what we know happened during the events of Mortal Kombat Deception. The last time we saw Sub-Zero, he had been betrayed by his newest recruit, Frost. She had attempted to steal his Ling Kuei Grandmaster Dragon Medallion to amplify her own abilities. However, because she lacked the discipline to wield the medallion, she was consumed by her own freezing ability. Sub-Zero felt as if he had failed Frost and looked for a suitable place to bury her. He came across the ruins of an ancient Outworld civilization known as Cryomancers. These Cryomancers were known to have the ability to manipulate cold. Sub-Zero believed that he and Frost were descendants of this race. He placed Frost's body in a sarcophagus within the temple. Sub-Zero also found an ancient suit of armor within the temple and donned it with respect to his ancestors. Sub-Zero then made his way back to the portal to meet up with Raiden and the Earthrealm warriors, unbeknownst that they had all been slain by the Deadly Alliance. During his journey, Sub-Zero was attacked by many Tarkatan warriors within the living forest. He persevered and killed them until he eventually came across the blind swordsman Kenshi, who was clinging onto life after his previous encounter with Mavado. Sub-Zero saved Kenshi's life and revived him back to health. As the two made their way back to the portal to Earthrealm, Hotaru sprung a surprise attack on them. The attack left Sub-Zero temporarily blinded, leaving Kenshi to fight and defeat Hotaru on his own. The two eventually made their way back to Earthrealm. After his own self-destruction, Raiden's energies reformed in Earthrealm and he became fully aware of what had transpired prior to Onaga's return. Shujinko's foolishness caused something to switch in Raiden. He suddenly became disgusted by the doings of mortals. Raiden vowed to no longer allow the will of men to determine the fate of the realms. Raiden took Liu Kang's corpse from his tomb and brought it to an underground temple once occupied by an ancient sect of necromancers. Using sacred chains from the sect, he chained Liu Kang's body down and performed a ceremony to resurrect an undead version of his former ally. Liu Kang's undead corpse was now Raiden's own enforcer. He sent Zombie King out to wreak havoc on anyone who he believed posed a threat to Earthrealm. This unholy act attracted the attention of Shinnok, who appeared to Raiden as a projected apparition from the Netherrealm. Shinnok wanted to ally with this new Raiden and told him that if Raiden agreed, he would ensure the safety of Earthrealm at all costs. Knowing that Shinnok would eventually betray him, Raiden agreed, but only to uncover what his true intentions were. This story will continue in my next video when we get to the Armageddon story of the timeline. Some time ago, the Cleric of Chaos Havoc came across a bloodied and beaten Cabal after he had been defeated and left for dead by Mavado. Havoc revived Cabal and convinced him to restart the Black Dragon clan. Doing so would create much chaos in Earthrealm, something that Havoc thrived on. Cabal agreed and recruited 2 new members, Kira and Cobra. At some point, he found Mavado and enacted his revenge, defeating him and reclaiming his hook swords. Later, the 3 traveled back to Outworld to meet up with Havoc, who was siding against Onaga for fear that his rule would bring too much order to the realms. Meanwhile, in Earthrealm, Nightwolf had recurring visions of the return of the Dragon King. He knew that stopping Onaga would be much more difficult than simply killing the being. To put a stop to Onaga for good, he absorbed the sins of his tribe to become a Sin Eater, which would give his soul the corruption it needed to enter the Netherrealm. Nightwolf ventured into the Netherrealm to begin a ritual that would bind Onaga's soul to that realm for all eternity. After being set free from Shao Kahn's mind control with the help of Kenshi, the being known as Ermac was finally able to experience free will. Ermac decided to become a force for good. After Shang Tsung's death at the beginning of Deception, all of the souls he had consumed were released. Liu Kang's soul was one of these. Ermac met Liu Kang's warrior soul, who had asked him for his assistance in freeing his enslaved allies who were under the mind control of Onaga. Seeing this as an opportunity to atone from his former evil ways, Ermac helped Liu Kang and successfully broke the mind control Onaga had on Jax, Sonya, Kitana, Johnny Cage, and Kung Lao. Back in Earthrealm, Shujinko had gathered many warriors, and together they met up in Outworld to confront the Dragon King. Havoc led them to Onaga's location, as he would be in his glory from the chaos of the battle. The warriors clashed in one giant epic battle. Shujinko absorbed power from all of the warriors in the room due to the ability Onaga granted him so many years ago. Shujinko smashed all 6 Kamidogu, weakening Onaga. Shujinko then focused all of his power into one final blow that defeated and killed the Dragon King. After his death, the Dragon King's soul separated itself from Reptile and was immediately bound to the Netherrealm due to Nightwolf's ritual. Nightwolf then escaped back to Earthrealm with the help of his spirit guides. After Onaga's defeat, Shujinko became known as the hero of Outworld. He did not feel worthy of the title though, as he was the one responsible for the Dragon King's return in the first place. With the Dragon King gone, the realms were safe again for now. Here is what occurred after Onaga's death. Over the past few years, Sector had been residing in Japan, where he was creating an army of cyber ninjas known as the Takunin. His story will come more into play in my next video. Sub-Zero ran into the demon Serena, who had escaped the Netherrealm some time ago through the portal that Quan Chi used during the events of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. For her assistance in helping his older brother Bi-Han with his quest so many years ago, Sub-Zero offered Serena asylum at the Lin Kuei headquarters. While in Outworld together, the two witnessed Sub-Zero's older brother, now the Wraith, Noob Saibot, leaving Shao Kahn's fortress with Sub-Zero's former best friend Smoke. They followed the two into the Netherrealm. Noob and Smoke knew of their presence and ambushed Sub-Zero, defeating him and leaving him unconscious. Serena managed to fend off both Noob and Smoke before they could finish Sub-Zero off. Sub-Zero woke to find Serena in her natural demonic form. He was not familiar with Serena in this form and attacked her, which caused her to flee into the depths of the Netherrealm. Later, Quan Chi found her and cast her under his spell yet again. Sub-Zero returned to the Lin Kuei headquarters only to find many of his students murdered by Frost. Frost was still alive when Sub-Zero had buried her, and now she had come back to seek revenge on the Lin Kuei. Sub-Zero encased her in ice and placed her in a shrine within the temple where she would one day answer for the crime she had committed. In the time that followed the events of Mortal Kombat Deception, all of the warriors went back to their normal lives respectively. Sometime later in Edenia, Kitana was met by Blaze, who informed her that an epic battle between the most powerful forces in the realms was imminent. He told her to gather the forces of good and prepare for a battle in Edenia that would determine the fate of the realms. Kitana became disheartened as every victory only led to more conflict and greater adversaries. Blaze told her that if all goes as planned, all of her enemies would be destroyed in due time. The Battle of Armageddon was almost upon us. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Next time I'm going to talk about the Battle of Armageddon and the storyline that unfolds within Mortal Kombat Armageddon. If you like what you saw here and would like to learn more about Mortal Kombat lore and story, please head on over to my channel, MK Temple. Like, subscribe, and click the bell to get notifications every time a new video posts. And until then, I'll see you next time.